Hey everyone, welcome back to Black Feminist Social Work. I'm Vanessa Talley, a licensed clinical social worker, educator, and doctoral scholar. If you've watched our first episode, you already know that Black Feminist Social Work is a framework that seeks to center Black women's knowledge, lived experiences, and intellectual contributions within social work theory, education, research, and practice. Today, I'd like to begin with a simple question. Why isn't Black feminist thought a standard part of social work education? Notice what I am not asking. I am not asking whether students should learn systems theory, ecological theory, psychodynamic theory, or cognitive behavioral theory. These theories have shaped our profession and continue to offer meaningful contributions. Instead, I'm asking why Black feminist thought has so rarely been positioned as an essential framework for understanding human experience, power, knowledge, and practice. That question has guided much of my own scholarly journey. Every social worker learns theory. Theory helps us organize information, interpret behaviors, understand relationships, and develop interventions. It also helps us to guide ethical decision making. Theories influence how we complete assessments as social workers, how we conceptualize problems, how we define resilience, and even how we determine what counts as evidence. In many ways, theory shapes the lens through which we understand the people we serve. But here's another question. Who created the theories we've been taught? Whose histories informed them? Whose experiences became the foundation? And whose experiences remain at the margins? Most social work theories were developed within particular historical, cultural, and social contexts. That doesn't make them wrong, it makes them contextual. Yet theories are sometimes presented as though they apply universally across all communities without examining the assumptions embedded within them. Black feminist thought reminds us that knowledge is always produced within context. It asks us to examine how race, gender, class, history, and power influence not only people's lives, but also the knowledge we create about those lives. This isn't about rejecting traditional theories. It's about asking whether our theoretical toolbox is complete. Some people hear Black feminist and assume the conversation applies only to Black women. I see it differently. Black feminist scholarship offers ways of thinking that strengthens social work broadly. It encourages us to examine power, question assumptions, value lived experience, practice reflexivity, understand intersecting systems of oppression, recognize community knowledge, and move from awareness to action. Those are skills that every social worker needs, regardless of race, regardless of gender, regardless of practice setting. When we broaden our theoretical foundations, we strengthen our ability to serve diverse communities with greater humility and effectiveness. Throughout my career, I found myself returning to the same question. How do the theories I learned in graduate school actually land on the people sitting across from me? Working with Black women in community, school, and clinical settings challenged me to think differently. I began noticing gaps between dominant theoretical frameworks and the lived realities that my clients described. Those observations didn't lead me to reject social work. They led me to ask deeper questions about how our profession continues to evolve. Black feminist social work grew from those questions, not as a replacement for social work, but as an invitation to expand it. So I'll leave you with 4 questions for reflection. Whose knowledge shaped the theories you learned? What voices were absent? How might your practice change if additional perspectives were centered? And what would social work look like if Black feminist thought were considered foundational rather than supplemental. These are not questions with simple answers, but they are questions worth asking. In our next episode, we'll explore one of the foundational concepts that makes Black feminist social work possible. We'll discuss what it means, why it matters, and how it challenges us to think differently about knowledge itself. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, stay rooted in knowledge, guided by justice, and committed to liberation.